All right, mini truckers and truckettes, we're going to go through on what to look for when you're buying a fresh import. Maybe if you're looking at trucks online that's in Japan, or if you're going to a dealer and you're going to look over the truck and potentially purchase it. So I guess we'll get through this video and show you guys a few things, what you need to look at, and get into it, I guess. So I'm going around looking for trucks that I can physically put my hands on before I buy it. I'm going to go around and I'm going to look at the rear of it. The rear of it is going to tell you a lot about the truck, on how it was worked, if it was beat up a lot, if it hauled a lot of weight. So looking into the bed itself, I'm going to see if there's any waves and the bed itself between here and here and here and here. You can see where the cross members are, if it was loaded heavy, used and abused. Also look at the back of your cabs to see if there's anything loose in the truck that might have been slamming against the cab or slamming against the tailgate. Look at missing paint. Like this one right here, you can see along the edges where there's chips and stuff. And then up here on the front of the cab, or the back of the cab, there's all these scuffs and stuff here. But if you look at the bed itself, it is extremely clean. That means in Japan, for a majority of this truck's life, it had a bed mat in it. So they wasn't just beating it up. They were taking care of it. Another thing that I'm going to look at in the back is I'm just going to bend down and I'm going to look at the frame rails. Is there any rust in these frame rails? They're fully boxed in, so make sure you look around each corner of that frame rail, even around your spring hangers, the seams. There's a few places where you need to look, even up under the truck where it goes from like frame rail to unibody. Get up under there and see if there's any rust holes or any rust starting. Another thing, I guess specifically to the U62s, around these fender wells under here and also inside the cab, you're going to see any rust that might be starting. And another thing, while we were getting closer to the cab, open the door and see how that driver's seat looks. If it's ripped up, then you can see that the truck's been maybe a local delivery truck or something like that, where a lot of city driving, getting in and out of it. Look at your body panels down the side of the truck. The trucks have very chalky paint when they're aged. They oxidize really bad. So this white is really, really hard to see any damage from the first look. So maybe get at the angle and look down the side of it, see if there's any imperfections. Because if you look at it straight on, you may not see any dents. Like on this truck over here on this other side. Looking at it directly like this, you don't see anything wrong with it. But if you get down close here and look, there's a little dent right here. I mean, it's small, but looking at it from an angle, you can see that little dent in it. And this truck is a super low miles truck and there's not much wrong with it, but things you got to take in mind when you're looking at these trucks is the paint, the color itself hides imperfections along with the chalkiness and the dirt that's set into it. Your roofs, that's a big thing. Right around these gutters, rain gutters on the back of the cabs. A lot of times paint will wear off because the trucks do set a lot and water or dirt might be setting in there, causing erosion from the paint. So you might have a little bare metal up here, surface rust. Look at the top of the truck. Get up into the bed. Look at the roof. Does the roof have little specks where maybe it was being loaded or around a construction site and getting pinged a lot? Dump trucks are really bad about it. So if you're looking at a dump truck, make sure the roof's not really beat up if you care about it. Battery box. Good look around that battery box, because sometimes they do rust in behind up against the frame rail. Really depends on the model of the truck too. Some are worse than others. But those are really good points to be looking at when you're just freshly putting your eyes on it. Carbureted trucks. When you go to start it up, you want this thing to fire right off. You don't want to sit there and have to pump it, or it sit there and spit and sputter. Your carbureted trucks, if they're running good, the carburetors are tuned right, they don't have any issues, they'll fire right off without touching throttle or anything. Then they'll idle up till they start warming up, then they'll idle back down. So make sure that's all working properly. This truck's a 2004 U62, so it's fuel injected. Sometimes, even in the fuel injected trucks, when you go to start them up, if they've been sitting a lot, they might need driven to get cleaned up. Sometimes they are bad about the air idle control sticking or not working properly. So a lot of the times you can just throw some fuel cleaner in there, maybe even clean up the throttle body a little bit. It's not a big deal if it fuel injector truck's doing it, but this one fires right off. Runs good, does what it's supposed to. This is a super low mileage truck. It's got 25,000 kilometers on it. So you can see there is a little tear in this seat here, very little. And being an automatic truck, it was probably in the city delivering, getting in and out a lot. 25,000 kilometers. If the truck was used at a longer distance traveling or whatever, you wouldn't have the wear getting in and out. So it's just things you need to look at that'll tell you a lot about the truck itself. Even raise the seats on it, see how dirty the engine is. If it's really dirty, you know that it's been on a job site, been off road, and it just tells you a little bit of a history about what the truck might have been, because you really don't know. Driving the truck, take it for a test drive. Make sure you don't hear any rattles, knocking in the front end. There's bushings that wear out, that go bad. And that's when you're going to a dealer to looking at trucks. If you're buying one online from Japan, it's really hard to know any of these things, because pictures are only going to show you so much, and they might only show you so much in the pictures. So when you get the truck, it might have a lot more character to it than what you had originally anticipated. So that's just something you got to think about. Importing one, buying one that's already here. Can you actually put your peepers down on it and see what you're buying, how it runs? Because not even only worry about condition, you got to worry about the engine condition as well. So there's a lot to think about when you're buying one. A lot of things to look at. A lot of little things that could help you out when you're buying one to get to know the vehicle before you pull the trigger. I just noticed on this one, along with the seat over here on the door jamb, has some paint rubbed off of it. So there was a lot of getting in and out of it. So they'd swing their leg over, leg would rub, getting in and out. So this was a city vehicle. which typically for an automatic, that's where you're going to find them. But anyway, I hope that helps you out with your next purchase of a mini truck. And I hope you guys the best when you're buying these from Japan, not knowing exactly what you're getting until it gets here. So that's the thing about it with when you're buying from me, the truck has already been completely detailed. You can see exactly what's going on with the paint. It's all clean on the inside, fully serviced. That's the thing when you're buying, depends who you're buying from and where you're buying from. So just keep that in mind, and I hope it gives you guys a little insight of what to look for. So truckers, truckettes, we will catch you on the next one.